So in June, I did my first ever journal with me. I've always loved journaling, but the last couple of years I've had a difficult relationship with it, and then recently I have completely fallen in love with it, and I watch so much journaling content that I of course had to make my own as well. So I filmed a journal with me, and I really liked making that, so I thought I would make some more journal content that is not gonna turn into a journaling account because I feel like that would put too much pressure on me. But occasionally I do think it would be fun to just post a journal with you, or like a journal flip too, because that's what we're doing today. I have filled up this journal. It's nice and thick, and it's kind of bittersweet for me because, like I said, I've had a difficult relationship with journaling, and starting this journal and the process throughout it is kind of my journey of falling back in love with it. So it feels bittersweet to say goodbye to this, although I am very excited to move on to my next journal as well. I have to say this is a journal from the HEMA. It's Ninja or Miffy, in case you're not Dutch. And this is like the info on the back, but it's inaccurate because during my difficult relationship with journaling, I started journaling in this, and then I ripped out these pages, and it was like quite a bit. It didn't count, so this didn't have the full pages in it when I started it, but it did get pretty chunky because I do like, as you can see already, I do really like sticking things into this, and therefore it has become quite thick. And honestly, I think size wise this is as big now as it was when I bought it, so you know, it's a good thing actually I ended up ripping pages out, because I don't think these like wings can hold up much more. It's a spiral bound notebook. I always love the look of a spiral bound notebook, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I love working in it, so there you go. But I definitely noticed towards like the end that these wings were kind of acting up a little bit, so I definitely think it was a good choice to rip out those pages at the start, which was purely because I hated what I did on those pages, not because like any like actual size did it. But like if this would have gotten as fat as it is now, but it also had more pages in, I don't think it would have like held up really well. But I'm gonna flip you around and show you what's in this journal and just talk you through my process, and I hope you like it. Okay, let's try this flip through thing. Anyway, this is the journal. This is the front, which you've already seen. This is the back, in case you want to know some information. This is from the HEMA, but I've had this one for a little bit, so I don't know if you can still find it. I hope I said in my intro that I ripped some pages out of this before, so it is less than what it should be, but look at how thick this is. Like, oh my god, the wings barely be able to contain what's in here, so I'm glad I ripped out some pages in the past. But let's flip through this. I've never done a journal flip through before. This is exciting. Anyway, let's start things off. So I always start off my journal with kind of like a little letter of typically like the place I'm in, what I'm doing, what I'm really enjoying, my hobbies, just who I am as a person when I start a journal. But this time around, because I just was so creatively stuck when I started this journal, I just mainly wrote about how I didn't want to put pressure on myself. I just wanted to do whatever I wanted each day. As I opened my journal, I didn't even have to do it each day, but I just wanted there to be no pressure and see what would come of it. And honestly, that's the best thing that I ever did, because I grew obsessed with this journal. So there's that. I have a little introduction letter. Then I also have a library haul. I do this always, where I just cut out like the little receipt I get from the library, stick the books down, and fill out a star rating whenever I read it, and then I'll give a little blurb on my thoughts on it. You'll see this pop up a bit more. Then of course we have my March cover page. Basically what I do is I just write down like the day I have something to do, and then I write next to it what it is. This oftentimes isn't really anything exciting, but I really like having this at the start of each month, mainly so if I flip back through this journal on a later date, I can just very quickly at a glance see what that month looked like. It's less of a planning thing because I have a planner, so I don't need it for that. And I did tab all of these monthly pages just so that they're easy to find back. Then the first spread actually properly done in here is for the K3 show. I went to see, this is the first day of tour, which is absolutely wild. This was actually the premiere show, which is how I met Remy Desmet as well. He was there in the audience and I got a picture with him. But for the rest, these are just pictures from the show that I took and printed out. They had like this promotional thing that I also took a picture with. And then this is the entire set list. I don't fully love how this turned out. I feel like the set list looks very awkward in here. But honestly, as like my first foray into creative journaling back after like a really long time, I am really glad with how this turned out. I do also have the date at the bottom. And then we have some dailies. Always when I watch reading sprints, I like keeping track of my reading during them. I don't know why, so I put that on a post-it note and then stuck it in here as well, just for fun. More dailies, and then this is a library haul yet again. This is properly filled out. It looks better, don't you think? And then the Hunger Games trilogy. I read the Hunger Games trilogy for the first time, and this is just like a breakdown of my thoughts on it. It's very simple, but honestly, I do really like the simplicity of this page. Then Selena Gomez and Manny Blanco released their album I Said I Love You first, and I did this page for it. I originally was gonna do just like random lyrics and then cut them out individually, but I just immediately wanted to get them on the page at once, and I actually really liked how it looked as a collage, so I stuck it in like that. That's the album cover. This is the alternate cover because I got this version on vinyl, so I thought it would be fun to include. And then some thoughts on the album. Then I went to see Camille on my heat tour. Absolutely stunning. During the show that I went, they had like a little fan project where they had like these clouds cut out and they told it to put up during my key. So I did that. I took the clouds home. I hope they didn't mind that. And I stuck it down here on my journal page as a background. I again wrote down the set list. I always love including a set list and stuff like this. And then I printed out a lot of pictures from the show and stuck it down. And this is also all confetti from the show that I thought would be fun to include. It's a pain in the ass to glue confetti like this though, but worth it. I think it makes the page look so much cooler. Then the venue that I went to had this like flyer with Camille on the cover, and then the first page also has like explanations about her show, but then the rest is also in here, but I put a little piece of tape so it doesn't like fly open from itself, but I can still technically reference this entire booklet if I wanted to. Some more picture, and then I got this plastic bag to put the rest of my confetti in, and then there's also a white cloud in here which you can't see, but it's the same as the blue, but then in white, but I thought the blue popped more in the background, but they also had white one, so it's also in here. And then like some more pictures. I have some stickers from Camille herself. She released like a sticker bundle a while back, and those are from that. And then this is a tag from a piece of merch I bought at the show, so there you go. Then I have another daily. We have a review for Eternal Sunshine by the Days Ahead, which is the deluxe version of Ariana Grande's brilliant album Eternal Sunshine. I don't really love how this turned out, but this is the like hype sticker from the vinyl, and I just put like a colored background on it, which isn't that great. Then I have a quote. I have the alternate cover because again I own this, and then this is kind of what I hate. I feel like if I just write down my thoughts over here regularly, I would like this page much more, but I decided to put down this page of like just like a bit of a cloudy print on it. I thought it matched the vibe, but it doesn't really match the vibe of the page, so it looks bad in my opinion. And then we also have a page for Heartbreak Weather, the 5-year anniversary edition. This is so wild that I made this page, and this is the vinyl version I ordered, which is like the deluxe version. That still hasn't come like that. Like, to be fair, there was a pre-order, but like it's wild that still hasn't come. This is the original Heartbreak Weather cover, and then this is the 5-year anniversary cover. And again, I just wrote some thoughts on it. And then it was the end of March already, so I put down my thoughts on the books that I read that month. So basically, in case you don't know how this works, I put the cover of the book, my star rating, and then the title and author, and then which I also highlight in like my little color of the month, and then write my thoughts on it just like in a small little blurb, spoiler free, so don't worry. And I do that for all the books that I read in a month, even including the NFs, which I don't have for March. And then I do the same for the shows I watch, which is the title and season instead of author, star rating, poster, thoughts. There you go. And then for March, I didn't really watch any movies. I just watched the Brighter Days Ahead short film. So I included that. I wrote no rating because I didn't rate this because I feel like it's weird. But typically I would start the movies watch on a different page, but because it was only one, it felt a bit ridiculous. So I just put it underneath the shows watched. And then we have arrived at April. Again, a very simple monthly page with a tab to it so I can find it, a daily. And here I got like Sabrina Carpenter t-shirts, merchandise, so I put the tags right here. I think it looks so cute. And then I have some more dailies. There's nothing special in there ever. Then I did this attempt at a quote page because Pomnites released her song Tegenwoordige Tijd, which I adore, so I wanted to make like a little quote page, and I saw this like highlighting and circling kind of technique from other people to make it like look a bit cooler, but I don't know, I don't think I'm good at it. I don't really love the way this looks, but it's there. Then I have another library haul, and here you can already see like the bleach through from this page. This is honestly a turning point in my journaling process, I feel like, because I made this page for the Hunger Games movies. It has like I don't know if you could technically consider it this a Dutch door because of how small it's cut down. It's more like a little book within a book. But it's so I could review all four of the movies. And then I just put different pictures from the movie around. But I was scared I was gonna have way too many. I ended up having too little, so I had a lot of room in between. And I decided to just use my orange like Stabilo highlighter to color in the background. And that's how you get this ghosting on the back, because it just, and it doesn't really look that great. And at this point I was like, you know what I need washi tape. I feel like that would fix a lot of my issues. So that's why it's also like a turning point in my journey. But I do really like the concept of this. I just feel like the execution wasn't necessarily the best, but oh well. Then I have more dailies. This is again a tag from something I bought because I really like it. And this is when I bought washi tape. And to be fair, in the Action they had like these really big boxes of like 70 tapes in it that were all like themed, and I bought 2 of those. So this is a collection of that. These at the top are from the HEMA as well, but from the rest it's all from the Action. And it's a lot, I know, but it is great grounds to have covered. Okay, so these are some more dailies. I just put a bookmark in here because these are pictures from my family, and I don't know if they want to be shown on the internet, so I'm covering them up. But we went to dinner with like the entire family, so that's some pictures from that because I really like including it. And then the rest is some regular daily stuff. And then this is still, I think, my favorite spread out of this entire journal. And it's the first time I really used washi tape and like really went full creative. And that's for my The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes spread. So on one page we have the book, on the other page we have the movie. Again, all of these pictures are from Pinterest to kind of capture the vibe. These butterflies actually washi tape, and I just cut out the individual shapes because I thought it looked cute. We have the title, the author's rating, my thoughts on just a bit more in depth and in the like wrap-up pages. And then same for the movie, except here we have the release year instead of the author. And then these are all screen grabs from the movie. Again, I got these from Pinterest, but like I'm sure you could find them on like any picture site because these are all just straight from the movie. And I want my thoughts on it. So there you go. I really love how these turned out, and also love how they, at least I think, they clearly are one part of like one whole while also being 2 separate things. So I really like that, so there you go. And then we have my April wrap-up. Here I kind of forgot that I was doing switching places, so it looks like a mess. I know. You can see that I included DNFs for April because I had some. And then we have my shows watched and my movies watched, which is a repeat of like all the Hunger Game movies, but like, I don't know. I feel like not including them in these wrap-ups is a bit odd because I have separate pages for them, so instead I do that. And then we have May. This cover page, I tried to do something creative with it. I don't hate how it looks. I don't love it either. But there you go. We have some dailies, another tag from things I bought because that's what I do. More dailies. I also started dividing them with washi here just to make them look a bit more like separate and like blocked off, and I really like that look. So there you go. Then we have another library haul. This is also when I started getting comics from my library again. This is something I did a lot as a kid, but I kind of grew out of and I wanted to get back into. So I also have this more in a to-do list style rather than like with room to leave ratings and thoughts, because that's just not how I read comics. So this is just so I can check off which ones I've read. And then some more reading sprints. And then I did a 24-hour reading challenge, and I was just so proud of myself for accomplishing it that I wanted to like make a page for it. I did a full video for this as well. But basically this is a clock, and I marked how long I read each book on basically. And then this is like a key so you can see which color corresponds with which block on either of the clocks. And it has the title, the exact time on the timer when I finished it, and my star rating for said book. And then these are the book covers as well, with a little white border I got around it because I thought it looked cute. This is a washi tape background. This is just black paper in case you wanted to know. And then I Said I Love You First and You Said It Back, which is the deluxe version of this album, came out. I did this page for it. I don't know how I feel about it. Julia Michaels released her EP Second Self. I did a page for it. Again, don't know how I feel about it. Don't know how I feel about both of these pages. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I don't know. Some days I look at them and like, okay, this is not that bad. And other days I look at them and like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's atrocious. I don't know. Then I had these 2 trackers on my iPad, so digitally, and I wanted to put them in my journal now that I'm journaling more often. But these are basically just 2 TV universes I'm making my way through, and that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer / Angel and The Defender, so all of the Netflix like Marvel shows. I haven't made a whole lot of progress since making these pages, but technically I have these and I will be able to refer back to them in the future if I need to. Then I did a page for Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. Again, this is Pinterest pictures. I love this book. Very maximalist page though. This is also from my first journal with me video on here, so you can go check it out if you want to see how I made this page, as well as this page, which is for Captain America Brave New World. It was released on Disney Plus. I hate the way this turned out, and if you watch that video, you know why. Then I went back to the action and I got like these acrylic paint markers, and they're like dual tips, so they have two colors, and I got two sets. This one, which has 18 markers, so double the amount of colors, and I swatched it on the just like white paper, but I also swatched it on black, so you can see the difference, because I mainly wanted to get acrylic markers because of how they look on black paper. And then there's this 12 marker set that is also numbered and named, so I put the numbers and names next to it as well. So this is it on white and this is it on black. So I have, this is honestly a really great cheat sheet to look at whenever I need to pick colors. And then I got some more washi. I got another one of those like massive boxes because it had like a bit more of a color variety in it. So they go like, there's a lot of colors in here that I don't have in the other two, so therefore that was nice. Then I did a page for Sunrise on the Weeping. Again, this is in my journal with me video that I did. I adore this so much. Like I went very maximalist on the Magnolia Parks page, and I was like, okay, we need to tone it back a little. I went a little bit smaller for Sunrise on the Weeping, but I love how it turned out. All again, pictures all from Pinterest. And then I also put a little quote, "They will not use or to use for their entertainment," which is basically the thesis of that book, but I really liked it and I just like having it next to it. I think it looks very pretty. And then again, for May, we have my books read. I read a lot in May, so there's a lot of that. We have my shows watched, and then we have my movies watched. And then we have arrived in June, our final month in this journal. Again, a cover page like always, except here I did like the title on the side. I really like this look, so I think I'm gonna stick with this for a little bit because I really like it. And then we have two dailies, and then this is from like a family party, and at that we played this dice game, which I don't ask me what it is, I don't know, this was my first time playing it, but I did have like this score sheet from it, and I just decided to take it with me, glue it in my journal, put a bit of a washi tape border around it to make it a bit more visually interesting, and that's what this page is. And I feel like it looks very random, but to me it pulls up a lot of great memories, so that's why it's always great to include shit like that in your journal. And then I watched the Hatchetfield musicals from Starkit, so I of course needed to make a page for that. And I did the Dutch door again. I really love the look of Dutch door, so I really like including them whenever I can. So basically for these pages, what I did is just like write Hatchetfield universe at the top, and then I have two washi tapes at the bottom, as well as the title of said musical written on black paper because I just felt like it fit the vibe. And then somewhere on the page I have a quote from the show, which is from the songs always. I don't just have a random quote, these are all from the songs. And then I have my thoughts on that particular musical. And then I have the same for Black Friday. And Nightmare Time, which is technically a collection of short stories within this universe, and I'd previously only seen a couple of them, and this time around I watched all of them, which is what made me want to rewatch all of the musicals, because this is in the order that they were released, not necessarily the order I watched them. And here the quote is from the theme song from that. And then Nerdy Poots Must Die, which has my favorite one of the quotes. I really love how this turned out, which is like much more maximalist than the other quotes, but I really love how this turned out. All of this was done with acrylic paint markers, except the little like red border around these I'm Not a Loser, because that's a red gel pen to just make it pop a bit more. But for the rest, that's that. And I picked the colors based on kind of like the color scheme for said musical. So then I wanted to do a Starkit marathon, and I've only seen one other Starkit musical since then, but these are all rewatches, and then these two will be first time watches because I'm a bit behind on Starkit. But I'm very excited to make my way through. I don't know which one I want to watch the most right now. There's a couple one fighting for my attention, so hopefully I'll be watching more of them in July. And then we have Watch Me by Tara Murphy, another book that I read and really enjoyed. I don't always do 5 stars, as you can tell. This was a 4-star, but I just really enjoyed it and I really wanted to make a page for it, so I did. I don't love how this turned out. I did a different thing with splitting up the pictures. I don't know what to feel about that, but I also don't hate this page. Then we have another library haul. Considering this, I have to go back to the library on the 8th of July, and I'm filming this on the last day of June. I still have room to fill out this, don't worry about it, it will be. And then I have Problematic Summer Romance, which I did love. I did give 5 stars to. I also did a page for. And I also added a quote to this one: "You turned every ordinary moment into a masterpiece." I just feel like it looks really nice. It's the first time I've done that like on the review page. And I think it looks cool. Like I have printed out quotes from Pinterest before, but not like written them myself, if that makes sense. And then I have some Pinterest pictures again. And then my mom and I went on like a little weekend trip and we did a few things doing that, for which I did pages. This is a theater play we went to see, which is called As Live de Priestermoord. I really wanted to go see this and I was very glad that we were able to do that. But when we went to go see the production company at like these newspaper types, like brochures basically, and they had like a massive poster for the show in it, and I just cut out like the little design and I stuck it in. It does stick out a little bit, which means this like little bit is a bit rough, but I don't really mind. I really like how this looks. And then I used some black paper to cover this page, and I added like a little cutout from my ticket with like the information on it, and then like pictures of like the actual theater, because I just thought it really looked cool. I'm a huge fan of Tina Oldmans, so of course I had to take a picture with like her little part of the theater. And then I did some white acrylic marker around these because I felt like the blue and the purple like blended in with the black a bit too much. So there you go. And then the reason we took that trip was to go see Cat 3 again, because when we went to see them in March, Martha was still on pregnancy leave, and I of course wanted to see her again. So we did that. We went to the last show. We technically went to, not to the first show of the tour, but like technically to the premiere of the show and then the last show of the tour. So that was also really fun. And for this I used my acrylic paint markers to do like this oh my god, what's it called? This like cross pattern on the back with pink and orange, because that's kind of like the vibe of the tour. I put like these different pictures I took during the show. I also added some stickers on here. And then I made another Dutch door. You guessed it. I really like how these look so much. But I made like a little title page here, and then on the back I wrote the set list, because as I said in my last page for the tour, I really hated the way the set list looked within the page. So this way I have it separate in a sense, but it's still part of it. And then more pictures, the date of course, and yeah, love it. This is also one of my favorite spreads I've done in a journal, together with the Ballad of Sunbirds and Snakes page. And then also just did some regular journaling from the trip with some like, this is from a hype sticker from a vinyl, that's a picture of the dinner we had, that's a tag of a t-shirt I bought, and then these are from train tickets. So that's just randomly written everything we did that weekend. And then another daily, my mom got me the Crea Chic sticker book as a surprise gift, and we also like went to do some stuff that day, so I wrote about that, and then I included some of like the random stickers from that to in here because it looked cute. Then every year I make a favorite songs of the year so far. This video is yet to go up, so don't pay too much attention to this, because I will make a video for it where I go through all of these songs like I always do. But I basically decided to write the list from as well on here, so I have a bit of a washi tape. I really love this one, and I didn't get to use it yet in my blue month, so of course I had to use it. And then these are some of the Crea Chic stickers. And then Ironheart released, and I of course wanted to make a page for it as well, and didn't really know what to do. And then online I saw a creator, I don't remember who, but they did a breakdown for each episode for like a show they were watching. It's a different show. I don't even remember the show that they watched, but like they did like a little small review for each episode and then wrote it down like this, like I have it. And I really love the look of that, so I thought to try it out for Ironheart as well. So I just wrote the episode title for each of them, and then after I watched the episode I write my thoughts on it, and it's like very messy and like there wasn't much effort put into it. But I really love doing this for these first 3 episodes. The next 3 of, by the time you're watching this, have already dropped, but for me they still have to drop, and I'm very excited for them to do so I can fill this out. I'm also just really loving the show, so I'm also just very excited for that. And then I have some washi tape at the bottom. This is again my acrylic paint markers. I really like using those, so there you go. And then I have this page for K-pop Demon Hunters. Movie was all over my feed, so I just had to check it out. It's a Netflix movie and I really liked it, and I didn't just like it, this has been stuck in my head since I watched it. I still think about this movie every single day despite it being a 4-star, so I had to make a page for it. I also just love the animation of it, so I like including pictures from it. And then I used washi tape as decoration. I actually did a TikTok video on this page and how I made it, so definitely go check that out. My TikTok is in the description, it always is. But I highly recommend you go check that out as well. And then Milo, which is one of my favorite TV shows, it is a show that features has music in it. But their second season wrapped up, so they released officially the soundtrack for the second season. So I decided to do a ranking of all the songs. Again, I did a tier list version of this on my second channel, so you can go check that out if you want. But this is just like my straight up ranking of all the songs from season 2 for those curious. That's what I think about them. I think I want to do this every time an album releases now, because I think this is much more fun than just writing down my thoughts on it, but we'll see. Then I went to see Some Cinema Rio Prank on stage, and I love how this page turned out. So I used an acrylic paint marker, like a very light color, to like color in the background. And at first when I did that, I thought it looked like just my marker went out and I just was scribbling on the page. But now that everything's on it, it doesn't really look that bad. And then the red is also an acrylic paint marker, and then I just have pictures I took from the show, some washi tape. These are some Creachic stickers, just because I needed to fill out the page a bit. We have the set list and some washi tape. Again, I made a TikTok journal with me for this, so if you want to know how I did this properly, go check that out. But I am honestly, it's very simplistic, but I'm honestly kind of obsessed with how this turned out, so there you go. And then we have my June wrap up. For this, I decided to combine all of the categories because I already split them up. I would have run out of pages, and this way it just barely fits. So that's what I did. It works like always, except now it's all jumbled together, but it is still in like the order that it happened in a month, which I think is kind of fun. And I think I'll do this from now on because I honestly think this is so much more fun than having them all separate. But there you go. My printer is like acting up though, so I'm sorry for how some of these pages look. But yeah, there you go. This is already the last page of my journal. I finished it. There you go. I love this journal so much for what it meant to me. And yeah, that was a full look through. So yeah, that's everything in the journal. I can officially retire right now, except not, because as you can tell, there are some trackers that still need to be filled out a bit more. I'm already gonna say this. It's been a couple of days since I filmed my flip through, and Iron Heart has finished. Don't look too close to this because this side definitely contains pointers. This is how this looks completely filled out in case you're curious. And I love that show, by the way. But I also really love how that page turned out, so I'm definitely going to do that more in the future. But overall, I love so many of the things I did in this journal, and I feel so sad to say goodbye to it, but it is time. Like I said, I do have some trackers that I still need to fill out, so it's not fully goodbye, but like it's goodbye. And it's bittersweet because, as you could tell through the flip through, this has been a journey and a really nice one. So yeah, there you go. This is my next journal. Isn't it cute? This is again another one from the HEMA. This one is refillable, so I did also put 2 of the refills in here because I don't see myself taking out the paper of this once I'm done with it and like putting new paper in the cover. Instead, I think I wanted to put in a couple more pages so I have more to work with. And yeah, I'm very excited to be moving into this. And again, like I said, I'm a couple of days later with filming this compared to the flip through, and I have started working in here, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see where my journey with journaling is going to continue within this little notebook, and hopefully I will take you with me a couple of times to journal with me. I already have a concept of mine because I am going on vacation in July, and I think it would be fun to do a journal with me after that to kind of like catch up on things. But we'll see if that actually ends up happening, no promises. But yeah, that's my new journal. This is the old one. It's been bittersweet, but I'm very excited to continue on. So hopefully I'll see you around next time. Bye. Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated? Should've played it cool.